Oh, what's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Log, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to talk about was something that I was having a discussion with one of my subscribers, but I also have seen for myself, right, on YouTube. Especially with like channels like Point and Shoot. Shout out to Point and Shoot. Go subscribe to his channel. He has highlighted, some stuff as well, right, that, aligns with what I'm speaking about here, which is individuals who do not like the gang culture, which is understandable, especially from civilians. I can see their perspective on why they would want to, talk shit or, not like the whole gangster, you know, the whole gang banging gangster world. So it makes sense, right? But what doesn't make sense is, coming on social media and making outlandish claims, making, insulting individuals, like if people are really gonna, do something about it, right? Because that doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you gonna come on here and be talking shit about these individuals? And I could get their frustration, their anger, but like I said, insulting an individual, how's that gonna fix the problem in any type of way? It's not. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, it's only gonna antagonize these individuals or aggravate them, right? So, why even bring that kind of energy, right? Because at the same time, by you and coming on here and insulting these individuals, um, like I said, it is not helping in any type of way. You're not actually coming with any type of solution to the problem. If anything, you're just making the problem worse. So how are you? You get what I'm saying? Like Flacco saying that all gang members are, rats, and like I said, that could be his overall maybe opinion, right? Maybe that's his point of view, or that's what he believes, right? But like I said, that's his opinion. He's entitled to that opinion. But coming on here and speaking it like if it's facts is, quite reckless if you ask me, because he doesn't know all these individuals, right? Now, for example, like he does not like Poetic Flacco from No Jumper, which I actually seen from Point and Shoot because I don't watch No Jumper, right? But Flacco, you know, hates the whole gangster world and has this opinion on how he sees individuals from the street life, right? But yet he uses that for his channel, right? He's constantly talking about gang issues and gangster this and gangster that and gangs. For someone that dislikes, that type of world or these individuals, he sure uses that a lot to get or to benefit from, when we're talking about viewership or subscribers and stuff like that, right? So it's like, like, well, if you don't care about that kind of stuff or care for these individuals to come in, then why are you speaking out on your channel? Then why are you using it to bring you, views, right? If you have no type of connection nor respect or, care for that type of lifestyle, then why speak on something that you're not a part of, you know? And that aligns with, individuals who have left the life behind, right? Who want to insult individuals from the street life, right? Because they turned over a new leaf, right? So they no longer want anything to do with the gangster life, but yet they choose to continue to run their channels roaming around the whole gangster topic, gangster world, gangster lore, and it's like, well, for somebody who changed their life around, then why are you still discussing these type of matters, you know because you do have individuals that change their lives around, right, who have channels but don't speak about nothing to do with the gangster world, right? Because like I said, when they turned over a new leaf, they want nothing to do with that world. They want no part of that. They want no associate. So it's like I can see why they choose to stick to what they're talking about and choose to steer away from the whole gangster topic, as it should be, right? But these individuals want to live the gangster life, but then at the same time want to inject themselves and constantly speak on it, right, and benefit from the gangster world, but without, you get what I mean? It makes absolutely no sense. Like, so at your convenience, right? Also, it's only good when it's beneficial for you to gain some type of revenue from, um, which is hypocritical in itself, right? Um, and a lot of individuals tend to do that as well. So for a lot of individuals who have this vendetta or grudge or speak ill, then why speak on them at all? You get what I mean? It seems that, it's all cool because it's benefiting them financially, right? Then it's cool to be, indulging in that type of, conduct or conversations. So it's like, they really haven't changed much from what they used to be entangled with, right? They just want to cover it up a little bit better, because if not, then there would be no reason for still be indulging in the conversations, you know, and then wonder why these individuals are upset about it. Like, well, you wanted nothing to do with the life. That's why you changed your life around, right? But now because it's beneficial financially, now you want to indulge in it back again. You get what I mean? Or individuals that say that they no longer care for that type of stuff. They no longer care for the gangster world. They already grew out of it. They grown up. They're far past that. They're family men now, and yada yada yada. Yet they still come on here and going back and forth with individuals and getting upset and yelling and all of that, still defending their criminal conduct, right? Like their reputation, like being upset when individuals calling them out or saying that they really weren't never putting in work like that. And these individuals are like, man, I put in more work, man, you don't even know, man, my reputation, woo. And it's like, for somebody who don't care about that kind of stuff and no longer associates with himself with that kind of stuff, that's not something somebody would be defending, right? Their criminal history or their criminal past, right? Like, 4 hours with the business, huh? If anything, they would be like, yeah, I was stupid, and yeah, that shit doesn't make any, you know what I mean? But individuals who are still, like defending their rep, defending their activities, or defending their past, then clearly it's like, okay, well, you still want to be seen as gangster. You still want that type of respect and recognition. So you haven't grown out of it. So you haven't left it behind. So you haven't changed not a damn bit like how you claim that you have. So why even say that you have or that you don't care for that if clearly you do? you know, Kind of like Poetic Flaco as well, when, individuals tell him, he says that he doesn't care about these gang members and their low life lives and everything, but yeah, he's getting upset and all worked up and constantly sticking his nose in the gang business, and it's like, I thought you didn't care, you know. Or individuals like 1090 Jake, who's a rat himself, who has snitched himself. Yeah, he's pulling paperwork out on other people, calling them snitches, like if he's all good. And it's like, bro, you had paperwork on you. You were a snitch. You were no good. You know, shit. From what the individuals from your side is saying, it sounds like you weren't ever even a part of that life. But yet, they come on here, and just because they look the image, right, with the tattoos and talk the lingo and look the part, individuals believe the visuals, when it's like, you can't always believe what you see just because it fits the narrative or the image that you have seen in movies, because that's not how it works, right? A lot of people just, like to, play dress up, play pretend, look the image, but not really, be about it. It's a con man's game. You have a lot of individuals that are willing to go to that length and willing to, even con in some shit that has that, gains you nothing, like the street world, right? Just to gain some type of street cred, because that's something that they have always seeked or wanted. Because they grew up, respecting these type of individuals, so they want to obtain the same type of respect that they seen, or gave those individuals, but not actually really wanting to earn it because they're not about that life. It's a psychological defect. You'll be surprised how many individuals, suffer from that kind of stuff, right? Like, you have individuals that are, pretending to be police officers that aren't really cops, right? But don't want to actually put in the hard work to become a police officer, right? But want to claim the glory. Same people that pretend to be in the military, stolen valor. They don't really actually want to go through the whole, military, process and going to war and shit like that, but want to claim the respect and the, admiration that people have for these individuals. Same with the street world, you know. Even though I get it, it's not the same thing. This one is honorable and the other one isn't, right? But I'm saying that is how these individuals work, though. You know, See, some individuals put respect in that, like, law-abiding citizens who grew up the right way. I can see why they, give their respect to these individuals. But see, there's certain individuals that come up from the street world, right, or come up from the ghettos, right, and they grow up giving respect to these type of individuals for whatever reasons that they have, and that's why they choose to do, this or play pretend, right? But you see a lot of it on here, but it really doesn't make any sense, and these individuals really look stupid, just coming on here and saying the shit that they say, right, and acting like they don't care when clearly they do care and want to indulge in this type of behavior. But then when they get called out on, they want to say that they don't care or that they're grown or they don't give a fuck about that shit. But clearly they do, because it rattles them. But overall, that's just my breakdown, my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments and shadow we out.